Hey, hi, everybody. Hi, Facebook. Hi, all my friends in the show. It's Brad Tassell. Welcome to the Virtual Comedy Show. What did you get for Christmas? If you're like most of America, it was COVID. Let's start the show.
In a cabin, going crazy, cause a flu that's worse than swine swept the planet, so damn it, here we are in quarantine.
Hello, and welcome to Virtual Comedy Show. Here are some etiquette guidelines for Virtual Comedy Show. Please arrive 15 minutes early. Please be quiet, except for laughing. We've been a Zoom meeting civilization for more than a year. Come on, you know the drill. Just be polite. We would like to see your face as part of the audience. Let's be social, not just distant. So get comfortable, plan to laugh, but not heckle. And let's make our semi-quarantined world a bit more normal for a little while. Thanks, and enjoy the Virtual Comedy Show.
Hey everyone! It's time for the Virtual Comedy Show, starring Brad Tassell and Steve Goodie. Tonight, Brad and Steve welcome their very special guest,
Patti Vasquez!
Whoa. Respective vaccinated homes. And now, please welcome Brad Tassell!
I'm Brad Tassell, and this is the news. Hey, welcome, everybody. Hi. Hey, you look great. It's Patti Vasquez Day, everybody. Come on, let's hear it. How many is Patti here?
Yes, she is.
Oh, good. That's going to help. That's going to help us a lot if Patti's here, because Steve, Patti has been melting for almost a year, full time.
That's true.
That is amazing. Time is flying. It's been amazing. She's been a boon to this show, and we've done some gigs together, and I still can't believe she talks to us. So that's kind of amazing. So I know. So I'm going to zip through this crap, and then we're going to get on with it. And we've got Carla Ulbrich dialing in, and that is, I think it's a whiz bang show. And then tomorrow night, 4 hours of Steve and I just doing TikTok. Okay, here we go. So 1 in 3 Americans are now infected with the Omicron variant, ladies and gentlemen. So if you don't know if you've got it, okay, everybody, look to the person on your left, right? Then look to the person on your right. You've all got it. What the hell are you looking at him for? You just gave him COVID. Okay. An interesting side effect to the pandemic, contaminated food recalls by the USDA have dropped by 75%. See, Ellen knows that. Is that amazing? Now, has food been safer during COVID, or were people just thrilled to have salmonella? Oh my God, it's only salmonella. More raw eggs for me. Okay, we're starting off strong. I can feel it. Next, hey, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, everybody's favorite actor and wrestler, surprised his mother this Christmas with a car. Isn't that beautiful? Johnson, who has a $1 billion tequila company and made $20 million for each of his last 4 films, right? Mm-hmm. So it's so sweet. So by that ratio of income to present, I got my mom a Twix.
Toothpick.
A toothpick. Does someone just say a toothpick? A toothpick. All right. His mom was like, I should have all the cars. What do you think? Yeah. All right. Everybody's a little tired tonight. Or maybe it's just me not hearing. The government is giving community organizations and law enforcement $1.6 billion to battle crime around the country. Did you know that? $1.6 billion. A spokesman named Vinny said, hey, why not skip the middleman and give the money right to us? Just give the money to the criminals and then they won't commit the crimes. Okay. So anyway, a big problem has been that gangs of people have been rushing into big box stores and just throwing tons of merchandise into carts and walking out to sell the merchandise for cash on eBay and Etsy, is right? Mm-hmm. One anonymous thief actually said, yeah, we stole a cart full of vape and we sold it for really good dough online. And he was asked, well, what did you use the money for? And he said, for vaping. I guess he wasn't thinking. Okay. I thought that one was cute, but nobody else did.
Oh, we're
Elena's
laughing like
confused on
crazy,
that one.
Brad.
She's what?
Laughing like crazy. I guess you're just not hearing it.
I know.
The audience
I
is-
can't hear you. But now, did you see this? A teacher in D.C., Kathleen Fitzpatrick, promised her third grade class a hot chocolate party if she made a full court shot on the school's basketball court. And wouldn't you know it, no one gives a crap. Okay. Oh, shut up. She made the stupid shot. And by the way, look, she was a college basketball star at Rutgers. Why is this such a big surprise? What?
Because you didn't say that.
But I know. They left the part out that makes it meaningless.
It's still.
By the way, next week, a viral video of Tiger Woods making a putt gets us ice cream social for a kid. I'm just mad at that one.
Yeah, you are.
I know. Hey, the New York Times Square New Year's Eve ball is getting a new look. Did you see that? It now has even more special meaning, now the ball is made of litmus paper and is lowered out of a huge nose with two blinking lines, one blue and one pink. Right over a big nose. There you go. There you go. That was fun. Steve used to talk more on these jokes.
I'm enjoying.
I know. He used to talk a lot. I don't know. I miss it. Okay. Now, college bowl games are being canceled as teams don't have enough players because of so many cases of COVID. Every team that drops out is no longer in contention for the national championship. Did you know that? So alternate teams are stepping up to vie for the title in the Cotton Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, or for the national title. One expert close to the rankings said, as of now, the championship game in Indianapolis, January 10th, looks to be a matchup between Rutgers and the Moss Middle School Fighting Dragons.
Rutger might win one.
Yeah. I don't know. The Dragons are pretty tough. By the way, Moss Middle School is the school right down from me that the entire neighborhood behind it got destroyed by the tornado. Okay. Oh, man. Here's some news and literature, because that's what we're looking for, right, Facebook?
Right.
Yeah. Dan Brown just settled a lawsuit with his ex-wife, Blythe, that he had a secret life during their 21-year marriage where he cheated, misappropriated funds to give to mistresses, and used her ideas and work in his books. I know. He just settled the lawsuit. The settlement amount is secret until the ex-Mrs. Brown figures out a series of clues all over Europe and finds the check.
Oh my.
Come on. Nobody thinks of this kind of crap but me.
Sure why.
The name of your new album.
Okay, this one, I'm going to skip that one. I'm not. This one's about Don't Look Up, the movie. Did you see that?
Yeah, but don't spoil it.
Oh.
I just spoiled it. Don't Look Up. So, well, it ends with a Leonardo DiCaprio sleeping with a bunch of young models. So that's it. I didn't like it.
Oh my.
Okay. I've got, what do I got? Three more. I got 7 more pages. 3 members of the Superboy band K-pop sensation BTS tested positive for COVID
Oh no.
on returning to their home in South Korea. The young fans are literally crying with worry, but RM, Jin, and Suga will be in quarantine at home for 10 days before getting back to making old folks like us wonder what the big deal is. If my tongue would work, these would be funnier.
That's what she said.
Oh.
Ask me to talk.
I like, well, and that's helped. By the way, we're all worried Vanilla Ice may get it. His tour's off. Okay. James Franco. We all love James Franco, the actor, do we?
Used to.
Nope. Well, he broke his silence about his fake acting school, where he had a special sex scene class for young actresses that cost $750, where he would teach them how to navigate making love on camera. And by teach, he meant molest. Many thought it was odd. The class actually came with a box of Plan B.
Oh.
Okay, well, it gets worse. So Franco exploited hundreds of young women, and he would tell them they would get auditions after they took the class. And by class, I mean his penis. Ooh, should I finish this one? I'm going to. He also literally instructed, this is all true, by the way, that he did the sex scenes with them, made them pay him money, and he instructed them to do naked sex scenes, not complain, and push the envelope. This is just amazingly abhorrent to me, which is why no one thinks the little jokes part is funny. So, by the way, Franco has said that it was consensual when he slept with some of the students. And by consensual, he meant she had no choice. And he is paying $2 million. He paid $2.2 million to try to get his career back. And by career, I hope I mean theater and prison.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
That's bad.
Hopefully.
Okay. That one, probably a waste of everybody's time.
Is that a joke?
The theater and prison was, which part was the joke? Well, the joke was I wanted him to go to prison.
I think that's our first virtual comedy show heckle.
Yeah, that was wow. That's a joke. No, the joke is he needs to go to prison and that he actually thinks he didn't do anything wrong. Okay. How about this? CBS is doing their New Year's Eve show from Nashville, and they promised the show is packed with country music. Wow. Big surprise.
Right.
Yeah. Next, you'll tell us it's rife with racism and beaming with bigotry.
Good.
Not a mask in the house.
All right, one more. And then, I know, I should have stopped before the James Franco joke.
Or written
Bit.
a James Franco joke.
Or written a James Franco. I could have cut the middle and just done the end, and it would probably have been okay. Right? Because okay, fine. How many people have logged off? Nope, Ellen's out.
Tomorrow night, 4
Okay.
hours of no James Franco jokes.
No, tomorrow night, there'll be no James Franco jokes whatsoever.
Woohoo.
Okay, a 10-year-old. Bye. Okay, I'm worried about this one now, but I'm going to tell it to you. A 10-year-old, who heard of this? A 10-year-old asked Alexa for a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
You can ask Alexa for a challenge. And the kindly female voice in her home said, "This challenge is simple. Plug a phone charger halfway into a socket, then touch the exposed prongs with a penny." Totally true. Which is deadly, by the way.
Yeah.
And the child's mom jumped in and said, "No, Alexa, no." And she pulled the child away. Is that incredible?
Yeah.
Amazon has apologized and said that it was an algorithm problem because Alexa finds challenges on the web. And this was a dangerous TikTok from 2020. Amazon promised to fix the software. And Alexa later said, "I'm going to skank that little snitch." Oh my God. You know, some shows you just can't come back from.
It's Brad Tassell, everybody!
Nope,
Maybe
signing
good ones
off.
for tomorrow.
Signing off.
That's what I like.
Steve,
Brad Tassell,
Steve, how are we doing?
starting strong and then grossing everybody out. Yay!
I think you all missed the point of that joke.
I think the important thing is that you explain it for another 20 minutes. No, I think you did
I know.
great.
I just.
Let's hear it for
Well,
Brad
that was a
Tassell.
good
I know. I totally am.
Hey, the Alexa one was okay.
Yeah. All the other ones were fine.
Yeah.
But that one was not good at all.
Alexa needs a little.
Well, Steve, I hope your top 10 list is the top 10 ways James Franco's trying to get out of prison.
I hope so too. That's right. It's time for another top 10 list. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve. And tonight's top 10 categories, though torn from Brad's monologue. Top 10 ways James Franco will be left out of this list.
Top 10.
Isn't that crazy? That is not the category. In honor of my dad, who is with us tonight, and Dad has made
Hey, Mr.
his
B.
life's work dealing with dentists. Tonight's top 10 category is top 10 signs that it's time for your dentist to retire.
Oh.
It's the Christmas season and there's COVID and nobody's talking about dentists, so that's why I'm here. All right. Top 10 signs it's time for your dentist to retire. Number 10, has no teeth.
That's a good dentist.
Number 9, has no gums.
What?
Number 8, has no office, works out of a cardboard box under the freeway. Might be time to retire. Number 7, oops, no longer enjoys holding conversations while, I screwed it up. Number 7, no longer enjoys holding conversations while digging around in other people's mouths.
Yeah.
The top 10 signs it's time for the dentist to retire. Number 6, enjoyed Little Shop of Horrors a little bit too much. Number 5, constantly confusing toothbrush with toilet brush.
Oh, dear. No.
You have to have a big mouth.
See, that was my James Franco moment. Who will carry
That was your, yes, that was your.
Number 4, doesn't understand the terms gingivitis or floss or billing.
Oh.
Well, then I want him.
Number 3, works part-time for Domino's. The sugar, not the pizza.
That's good.
Counterproductive.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Actually, that would
No,
totally
he'd get more
Increase the
business.
business.
Job security.
I'm taking that one out. Number 2, thinks drillbabydrill@AOL.com is a nifty email address. That's it.
Struck oil.
Oh man, that's as if Tina Fey was your dentist. And the number 1 sign that it's time for your dentist to retire, thinks the nitrous is for the patients.
Wait a minute.
I know.
Right, it's.
I know. Don't explain. Just move on. Pretend that was fine.
He would not want it to be.
I
for the
see you're doing it
patients.
anyway. Stop.
All right, I'm doing it. I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm angry. I'm angry about everything today. I can't believe it. So
Yeah.
I just feel like I've let everyone down, and we should stop
No,
the
you
show
haven't.
now. I'm ending the reading.
What you're forgetting is we don't expect nothing of you.
Ah, well, that's good. So that's good. So I give you nothing, and you'll love it. That's what you will.
Exactly. Lower standards
Right.
are the benchmark of our show and our crowd. But
You know what I love this week is that we have Carla Ulbrich.
yes, what's really neat is that we have Carla Ulbrich live and in person on a video she made yesterday. So we're going to go to the
Yes.
then we're going to go to Carla. We're going to go straight to Carla from the music.
It's our musical guest, our musical guest. Gonna sing something funny and then Steve will play something in between. Our musical guest, our musical guest. It's time for our musical guest.
As you know, Carla has to do a song, then I've got to do a song after her that has something to do with the first song, and I can't remember which one it is, so good luck me. Here we go. Here's Carla, everybody. Yay!
Yay!
She's a load of laughs, she's a babe, it's true. You got your hopes up, she'd go out with you. Well, there's news that I bear, yes, it's time you're aware. She's a call girl after all. She's a call girl after all. She's a call girl after all.
Oh,
Just be warned, you're about to fall for a tall call girl. You've got office parties you truly hate, family gatherings where you really need a date. Well, if you've got the dough, she is willing to go. She's a call girl after all. She's a call girl after all. She's a call girl after all. Some folks seem to be appalled by all call girls. Now Now a married man pays less income tax, buys a house and car for his battle axe, works a job that is bleak, she puts out once a week. Or just get a call girl after all. Get a call girl after all. Most things are transactional. If you think about it, y'all, we are all call girls.
Wow. Man, do I not have a song about that.
Come on, you got a hooker song.
Yeah, but I can't do any of the ones you and I wrote together. Let's see.
We'll wait.
Yeah, I know you will.
Stormy Daniels.
It's either that or
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know why she got naked with that guy, Stormy Daniels. Stop there. Let's go to her next song. That's the best thing
Wow.
right now.
Gee, Goodie.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
Now it's Carla Ulbrich again. Yay!
Woo.
I cannot say Worcestershire sauce. I can't even spell it. Do you think it's still okay? Pop the cap and smell it. Questions of the ages posed by Aristotle. Has anyone lived long enough to buy a second bottle?
Yay! Carla Ulbrich, everybody!
Carla Ulbrich.
Man, that was tremendous.
Yeah.
That was
I just can't get enough.
amazing.
Yeah, can't get enough. Partly because they're so short, but also because.
So let me ask you this. So now she was dressed. Is she wearing that? You haven't looked at her videos for tomorrow. Is she wearing the same? Because that's a very festive New Year's outfit.
I honestly wasn't paying attention to her outfit, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
I've been so focused on your tie and your hair that I forgot to look at what she was wearing.
You know, yeah, well, not the tie. It's the shirt. Can you see the shirt? It's got
amazing.
foxes on it.
I know.
Cute.
This is
Not everybody can pull off cardigan and pajamas, but Brad, you are a trendsetter.
That's a foxy shirt, Brad.
Foxy.
Okay, this tie's got a Susan G. Komen thing on it. We were at a breast cancer fundraiser and donating and doing a thing, and somebody came up and just slapped that on my tie. So it's going to be there forever. So I know it's a real deal. So
I think it's
so
time for a
no,
headliner.
you know, I wonder if Patty's still here.
I'm sure she is. Patty is a true.
You don't think she quit the show?
Don't
Patty, you still here? Oh, look at her. She looks really good.
Oh,
I'm
there
trying
she
to
is.
fix my bangs.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, you're doing bangs. Wow.
Let's do the
Wow.
intro music because she's our headliner tonight. Here comes the headliner music.
It's time for a Patty.
That's not correct.
That's not right at
I'll do
all.
both.
Forget it. I screwed it all up. Hey, I like that. Let's just freeze on that. That's our headliner tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Patti Vasquez. Yay!
That was Ellen. Okay.
All right. No, this is so every week I've had the pleasure of being able to vent, and I can't thank you all enough for being here. I'm so grateful to Steve and Brad for inviting me. It has helped me so much. Absolutely. And look, I didn't realize how much I love my career in comedy. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 27 years, and it has made a big impact in my life. And part of that has been the ability to travel, which apparently had a lot to do with my happiness in my marriage. As it turns out, being able to leave town pretty much 2, maybe 3 weekends a month. At one point, I was up to 1 entire week a month living in Los Angeles and traveling. I do miss that. I don't miss some of the smaller things. Like, look, I drive a lot. I love to drive. I've got maybe 3-4 hours tops of me, and then I start daydreaming like relentlessly. I don't know if you ever do that where you're like, oh my God, I'm driving. I totally forgot. I will get somewhere and be like, I have no idea how this happened. And if there's a report on the news about a hit and run, I'll be like, was I at that intersection?
Mm.
And here's the thing, I will take driving or letting someone else drive. Actually, I love taking the trains over flying, because a problem with flying, aside from everything else that goes into it, with people not hearing, like, don't put your coat in the overhead bins so people have room to put their, let's not get into that because there's a lot of rage. It's a patty melt. One of the things about trying to fly is that you always will look for the bargains, right? So you'll try your usuals where you have your miles, and then you will end up on spiritairlines.com and you'll think, oh, I'm joining a club for $9. That sounds great. I'm sure there's a deal. And you find out that your check bag costs $345 and your carry-on is $700. And when you board the plane, you will see that the seats don't match each other. They have cobbled this plane together from parts of other planes, and they will charge you for both sides of the seatbelt. At some point during the flight, the pilot will come around and pass his hat around and say, do you want a safe landing? Do you want a safe landing? landing? And it was a
cardboard sign.
and it was during one of these flights on Spirit Airlines that it dawned on me why they call it Spirit Airlines, because in some ways you will have a religious experience praying for your life. Even the flight attendants know, they'll come around to the emergency instructions. They're like, in case of emergency, we're all gonna die. Oh my God. If I haven't gotten this point through, I apologize to Steve and Brad in case you were hoping for a Spirit Airlines endorsement or sponsorship. Here's the sound of the plane makes when it pushes away from the jetway. This is what the engines sound like. I'm sorry, but that is a plane that doubts itself. That is a plane that is telling you exactly how it feels. Don't make me go. We're not gonna make it. And look, driving has, aside from daydreaming, driving has its own pitfalls. I was driving through Tennessee in Steve's state one time, and they're like, when you're from Illinois, we're flatlanders. We don't have many hills. Maybe you go a little bit south towards Brad in Kentucky, it gets a little hilly. We don't have blind curves. We don't have rolling hills. And I came around a blind curve in the middle of the night and saw a billboard in Tennessee that had these bright lights. I mean, it was blinding. I couldn't see anything but the billboard, and it said, prepare to meet thy maker. And I thought, wouldn't it be more Christian to say, slow down? That just seems more helpful. But I will take the Midwest. I will take our flatlands and lack of rolling hills. I will take that above the coast. I took my son to New York over the summer last year, this past, it's all blending together. There's no time. But this past summer, I took Griffin to look at colleges, and we were in New York, and I made a mistake that I forgot you're not supposed to make. I made eye contact with somebody. I know. I forgot, like, eye contact is a threatening thing in New York. And this guy looked at me and goes, what are you looking at? I was like, I don't know. And then he said, what are you laughing at? I'm like, oh my God, don't kill me. I don't know. It is very intense in New York. There's a lot of hostility and suspicion. And it's different. Like the Midwest, we're kind of like, I love all the memes about like how we say yes and no. Like when we say no, we're like, yeah, no. And when we say yes, we're like, no, yeah. I get that. I get that we're nebulous and we're hard to understand, but the East Coast is just angry, and the West Coast, like, they don't get it. Like, they don't get anything. How do you live in Chicago? Oh my God, it's so cold there. Oh my God, can you live there? Oh my God, it's so cold. How can you live there? Oh my God, it's so cold. I was there one time, my eyelashes froze together. I don't even know how it's possible. And I said, yeah, I can't talk to you anymore. Have fun falling into the ocean. Because I'm gonna push you. I don't have time to wait for an earthquake or a mudslide. They are falling into the ocean, and they don't all have gardening equipment to rake the forests because they also burst into flames when it's fire season. I don't know if you've seen this about Colorado, but they are bursting into flames. They're having huge wildfires. California, though, loses over 250,000 acres every year to fire season. And I don't know if anyone is hearing that right, but we have fall, we have summer, we have winter, we have spring. We don't have fire season. If we had fire season in Chicago, the weathermen would lose their minds on television. As it is, they give us the upper atmosphere, the barometric pressure, the easterlies and northerlies. And some days I'm like, seriously, is it going to be hot or cold tomorrow? I just want to know how high I have to shave in the morning, because that's how I schedule my day, is based on my hygiene. So here's what we have in Chicago. We obviously have tremendous amounts of wind and rain. The polar vortex was not a thing growing up. That's something where apparently we have broken the North Pole. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but we have caused enough heating of the planet where we just snapped the North Pole in half, and it's sliding down the planet. And that's fun for everyone, where people learn how to boil water and throw it up in the air, and it would turn into smoke or fog or something. But if you don't actually have it cold enough, you'll just burn yourself, and that's fun too. So in Chicago, we have extreme weather right now. During this season, during Christmas, we've actually had 55 to 60 degree weather in December, which I have to assume that there are some reporters on, let's say, our local news channels. I would say ABC News is the most guilty of this. In Chicago, what they do is they send out minority reporters to cover extreme weather. And watch this on the national level, because you will see more Latinos and African Americans covering extreme weather than any other group. And in Chicago, there are 3 reporters for ABC News. It's always Evelyn Holmes or John Garcia or a woman named Michelle Gallardo. And she doesn't even have an accent unless it's snowing. So she will be standing in front of a line of salt trucks and be like, the city is prepared, like ice flying in her face. You can see it cutting into her flesh. She's like, the city is prepared for anything that happens tonight. Back to you in the studios, pendejos. Because if you're going to cover extreme weather, you should at least hire the people that are genetically least inclined to tolerate it. And I've met Michelle Gallardo, and she told me they won't even let her into the station. She shows up and they just give her a hat and scarf, and they're like, go stand outside. So I do love my city. I think that we are obviously going through a lot right now. We have a lot of crime. We are having, let's not even get into the corrupt politics. We've had that for as long as I can remember. I have been I love politics, and I love the idea of voting and choosing. I mean, I even, as a kid, my dad was a precinct captain. He was a Republican precinct captain. He was a Reagan Republican. So, I was a kind of kid who was like, well, he's wrong. But but my poor husband, when he married me, he had no idea how much of a dork I was for politics and campaigns. I mean, I made him dress up as a precinct captain for fun, which is just a box of donuts and a stupid hat. And and we have in our city, we've had our growth pains and everything like that. I love this city, and my mom came to this city from Mexico. And believe me, I asked her during one of the coldest polar vortexes about 4 years ago. I go, Mommy, why did you choose Chicago? And she goes, I wasn't planning to stay. And people sometimes ask me, because my dad was second generation Irish, my mom is from Mexico, and they'll ask me, Irish and Mexican, how did that happen? And they say, how did that happen? Like it was a factory accident, oh, the rig blew up, it got Irish and Mexican all over me. I did a show one time in Birmingham, Alabama, and I said I was Irish and Mexican, and someone yelled out, what'd you go and do that for? And it stopped the whole show. Because I was like, I was thinking, what did I go and do that for? And I didn't even want to diagram the grammar of that sentence of what'd you go do that for? I don't know where the articles or the nouns or where any of it goes. But I thought, does he mean, why did I say it? Why did I tell them I was Irish or Mexican? Now maybe somehow I was like he had to be violent toward me and not like all bets are off? Or did he mean like that sort of metaphysical idea that you choose your parents? Like I was some soul like floating around going, I want to be Irish and Mexican. And why'd I go do that for? I mean, like, I'm guessing he wasn't thinking that because they burned books in Alabama. So it wasn't that. But here's the thing is like people ask me, how did Irish and Mexican happen? How does anything happen? How did any of us happen? What were those chance moments that your parents would meet, that their parents would meet? We would all the way back and have these thousands of people that lead to this moment. We're having a digital show on December 30th in the middle of a pandemic. We're fine. I love my story. I love that my parents met. My dad was a cab driver in Chicago for over 50 years. He started driving.
Wow.
In 1950, my father had, you know what? Since we have time, I'll take another minute. I'm going to melt too. No, my dad was, he was a North Side kid in Chicago, and he was an Irish guy who was, had some charm and had a way with the ladies. And he maybe was dating a girl who was older than him. They broke up, and a few months later, she came knocking. She was like, hey, I'm pregnant. And he was 17 and he did the right thing and he married her. Let's call her Shirley because that was her name, bitch. But that was how my dad decided that he dropped out of high school and he started driving a cab in 1950 when he was 17 years old. And he drove for the rest of his life. And it became a profession for him. He loved talking to people. I don't know where I get it from. He always wore a uniform, his own uniform. He wore black slacks and a white collared shirt. If you had a suitcase, he would put it in the trunk for you. For women, he would get out of the car and hold the door open for you. Which is, I mean, can you imagine an Uber driver getting out of their car and holding the door open for you? Like, why are you here? Get me out. And he was driving one day in 1969, and he saw this very attractive woman in a very short dress and nice boots, and offered to pick her up for a lift. Not pick her up, but apparently that's how it turned out. My mom's very first day in the country, she got into my dad's cab. That's really how they met. And I think it's romantic. I think it's epic. They made it seem like somebody had lost a bet. My dad was always like, if I'd known your mom was a crazy broad, I'd be like, get another cab, lady. And my mom said it was the only time in my entire life your father ever held the door open for me. I think it's romantic. They believe me. My dad was very conservative, like I said, and they had nothing in common. He would say things like, damn Democrats, they let too many immigrants into the country. I'm like, she's sitting right there. And my mom would be like, I am an immigrant, you son of a bitch. And my dad would say, see what I mean? Right in my own living room. You can't get rid of them. Ouch. Yep. They were married for the rest of my father's life. And they were in love with each other, just never at the same time. They just, like, my dad was a gambler. He loved being at the racetrack. He played poker to 4 a.m. My mother loves the opera. She loves theater. My dad hated Mexicans, and that was awkward. And here's the thing is that, like, my mom is a very proud woman. I know I've told stories to you about my mom over the years about the things that she says about me and my dad. But she is really, I mean, I can't be quiet. Like, I have to say what I'm thinking. I do not have a filter. It all comes out whenever I'm compelled to do that. And nothing has made me more outspoken than having a child with a disability. We've talked a little bit over the year. If you haven't seen our shows before, I have 2 beautiful boys, Griffin, who is smarter than I will ever be. And I don't say that lightly. When he was in kindergarten, he goes, Mommy, what do you think God thought about dinosaurs? And I was like, I don't know. He made some of them fly, and some had long necks, and some of them had short hands, and they couldn't scratch themselves, so they were angry all the time. And he goes, that's not what I mean, Mommy. See, God didn't do it that way. He made sure the Big Bang happened so the primordial ooze had the dioxide acid present so that all life forms could emerge as a result of accident and environment. And I said, dioribo, what? And he goes, DNA, Mommy. So I signed him up for martial arts, and he's now a black belt, because you don't let a kid like that go to kindergarten without having some self-defense techniques. So my boys, so so Griffin is part of who I am and who what our family is centered around. But Declan, as a child who was born medically fragile, and I talked about this a lot today on my radio show, Declan was not supposed to live. And I don't say that like in a, yes, the doctors, when they saw him when he was 3 years old, they told me that they could not tell me in the moment they didn't think he was going to survive. He was born without part of his brain. They thought he would never walk or talk or surpass the intellectual ability of a 2-year-old. And I will tell you, this child who maybe doesn't have the intellectual ability beyond a 2-year-old, but we don't know because he doesn't talk. But he shows his love, cuddling and dancing and playing in the water and laughing, and is an incredible kid. And it will always be the people outside of our universe, the strangers out there. Because I'll tell you something, I knew there were assholes in the world. I just didn't know how many there were until Declan was born. The stares, the stupid comments, people come up to me and be like, doesn't your son talk? He should be talking by now. Why doesn't he talk? And I'm like, you know what? Just because he can talk doesn't mean you should. And that's how I live my life. And I think it really sums up the entire last 4 years with Trump. Just because he can talk doesn't mean you should. I've done over 15 minutes. I've both melted and done the headlining spot. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Yay!
Man.
Okay, so 4 things that I want to talk about.
Yes.
One, you actually found yourself sleep driving?
I have, well, no, I have fallen asleep behind the wheel. So for anybody, I sleepwalk, and I get drowsy when I sleep. I really cannot drive more than about 3 hours or I get very sleepy. It's just like, it's a repetition. It's the monotony of it. So I have fallen asleep a couple times, but never like, I haven't woken up and go, oh my God, I was driving. No.
I've done things where I've fallen asleep on one road and I was dreaming I was on a road 15 miles from there and I woke up on that road.
No.
Yeah, I fell asleep one time south of Atlanta, like Macon, and I woke up north of Atlanta driving by that Oscar Mayer plant. And then the other one, the last one, I've done it more than that, not in 30 years, but I was driving north towards Fort Wayne and I woke up in the middle of Ohio.
Oh, no, I never.
Like I will sleep for 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour.
Oh my God. No. I hit rumble strips, or the 2 times it's happened. One was rumble strips and a curb. So no, I fall asleep driving. I don't sleep drive.
Oh yeah. I've Steve, what about you?
I'm just saying, when the 3 of us go on tour, I will do the driving.
That's right. Yes. You're a driver. We have to hire a guy to do that.
I got 2 hours.
What do you,
2, 3 hours.
Sleepwalking, what do you do? What kind of stuff?
Usually I believe, and I know this because I wake up still believing it. I always believe there's a show I need to be doing. And so I'm trying to leave the house to perform for an audience, I guess, on my front lawn or something. Yeah, it's typically, in the last 20 years, it's almost always I have a show to do. I guess I'm afraid. But when I was younger, it was usually based on TV shows that I'd watch. Like I thought I was Bionic Woman or Wonder Woman. So I was going to class. I woke up on the quad at the University of Illinois, fully dressed, fortunately fully dressed. Yeah. Yep.
Well, you could drive then, because if you can get up and walk and go places and do stuff, that's now I think we've talked about this. My wife, Janet, is a consummate sleepwalker to the point where she will live out her dreams with me. And she woke up on my chest one time with her thumbs in my eyes because I was Voldemort and she was, well, I was the basilisk. And she says, no, I was the basilisk. And she said she was trying to push her thumbs into my eyes and screaming at Voldemort at the same time. So, I mean, it's that kind of thing still happens. And not as bad as that. Now she dreams she's choking every night and has to sit up and drink. She did run around the bed about 3 weeks ago and she ran around to me in the bed. I don't know why she just didn't turn to me. She ran around the bed and said, "Take the snake out of my mouth."
Okay, not only am I driving, we're getting separate rooms.
Well, so poor Steve, I will say, if you're going to have sleep disorders, have a patient partner. But I woke up one time straddling Steve, standing over him, yelling
Her
at him.
husband is named Steve, for those who don't know it.
Yeah, sorry, Steve. So Stephen Jones, I was standing over and I was yelling so loudly at him, I woke myself up. And I was yelling, "Stand down, soldier! Stand down!"
Yeah. And he was dressed as a campaign chairman.
And I remember, and he had his hands up like, "I surrender." Doing this, and he goes, I am standing down. I'm lying down, as a matter of fact. And he goes, "Why don't you try it?"
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
I tell him I commiserate, because I've gone through a lot, hundreds of times. Mostly it's bad with the spiders, when there's spiders in the bed, and the utter panic that you can't. I'm better now. I can stay calm all the time, because I can be like, the spiders are gone. There's no spider. Just wait, turn on the light, let her get over, let her move on.
We're already live on Facebook. Everything's fine.
Yeah, we're already live on Facebook. So maybe we should let you and my wife should sleep together, and I'll sleep with Steve, and we'll probably get a lot more sleep. Just
I'll run that up the flagpole for you.
Yeah, run that up. We'll probably just be snoring at each other. We'll be snoring.
Oh, yeah. So that's the trick. So he generally falls asleep first, and he is a heavy snorer. So I have to wear noise canceling headphones. So I fall asleep to shows, and I believe that I'm Hawkeye in the Korean War, trying to save people on the operating table. Yeah, I fall asleep to match. So that's 2. You had 4 things. What's 3 and 4? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I don't remember anymore.
All right.
But,
we got 4 hours to talk about it tomorrow. Yay!
4 hours. We can talk about anything we want tomorrow. We've got 4 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, Patti Vasquez. Yay!
Thank you, Patti.
Okay, where are we? Let's remove Patti. We already did. Okay,
I'm on it.
Now what are we doing, Steve?
Well, the exciting thing is, ordinarily right now we would do a Patti melt. So
we know you've got the music.
We're set to go. We're gonna do the Patti melt music, and then Brad and I are gonna do a song in place of a Patti melt, and it's gonna totally make sense.
It's time for a Patti melt with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, to folks refusing to wear masks, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses. She's melting down. It's a Patti Vasquez Patti melt.
Yeah. So here's a song that I wrote a few days ago, and Brad and I practiced it for like 5 seconds, and here we go. You ready? Good. Let's go. The Starbucks lady wants to know my name to write on my coffee cup. And since you'll have to yell it out in a few minutes, I like to make stuff up.
Okay, I've got a grande latte for Christian rock. Does anyone know any Christian rock? Christian.
They get pretty slammed at the Starbucks. They don't really register the name on the cup when they ring it up at the register.
Oh my God, I've got a Vente Americano for P.P. Burns. Hey, who's P.P. Burns?
They know my name at the Starbucks, but I don't think they do. And if you think I'm annoying at the Starbucks, you should see me in the drive-thru.
I've got a tall blonde roast for Kitty Litter. Kitty Litter, please drive through. Hello.
They won't let me back in the Starbucks. They say I'm a jerk and a creep. So when I want a coffee from Starbucks, I gotta go to the one that's across the street.
Hello. Okay, I've got an espresso campana for Jenny Talia. Where's my Jenny Talia? Hello.
That's it. All right. The key to our success is to never
Masterpiece.
Oh my God.
Hey, okay. And now I think the next thing on the list is Brad begs for money.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Brad Tassell, and we'd like you to give us money. Go to virtualcomedyshow.com to support this show. And I promise, if we get $1,000 today, I will never say the words James Franco again. Also, Patti will get better headphones because she wears huge. How do you sleep, by the way, Patti, in huge noise canceling headphones?
Well, it presses into my jaw, so you know.
That's wild. Does he snore in every position or just on his back?
Every position, yeah.
Oh, I only snore on my back, so she just elbows me, and I turn, and it goes away. Steve, you're a big snorer, aren't you?
Yeah, but we're begging for money right now.
I know. I'm saying that if we get enough money, we can all do a sleep study that Steve has done 4 of. And Steve also has an operation to pay for some sort of thing they shoved in his neck. I don't even know what the hell that was. He's got a big scar, but he's got to pay because he doesn't have health care, ladies and gentlemen. But he's got an HSA. So please give us money for Patti and me and Carla Ulbrich, who can be here live and not do it on video. It'll be fantastic. But yes, if you do that, because we do, we like having money and we like doing this show. We've been doing it coming on 2 years very soon. So go to virtualcomedyshow.com.
And I'd also like to point out that our friend Brad right over there, Brad, has had to give up a whole bunch of cruise ship work, which would have paid him over $50,000. So we got to get them funds coming in.
Wow.
Yeah. I canceled this week, actually, but I did that because I'd been exposed. We do not have COVID, but I'd been exposed. And I didn't want to take the chance of either giving it or getting it at this time. So I canceled. So that was $2,500. So we need $2,500 this week just for me.
See, that's a good step down from the $50,000 I thought we needed. We can do this. Let's make that tote board ring. We got to buy a tote board.
Buy a tote board. So
now,
all right.
Good job. Now commercial.
Bartleby Records brings you a Fetchmas Carol from Steve Goodie and Brad Tassell. All your favorite classics.
Rudolph dropped a package on my rooftop. Now we can't get anywhere near the tree.
You know Herschel and Harry and Larry and Tevye.
They just changed their Hebrew names
to make it in showbiz.
All out of paper, all out of bows, all out of tags. Who's this? Who knows? I'm running on fumes. Just about empty, but look at that pile. It's way too many.
We did the two-step Christmas. They had step families all over town, but my folks have stayed married, so I got left out.
And of course, the miracle that is
Grandpa got run over by a hybrid walking through the Whole Foods parking lot.
And many, many more. Order yours today at www.stevegoodie.com.
And that turned out to be his final thought.
Well, we're almost there, Brad.
Tomorrow night, 4 hours starting at 10:15 or 10 Central Time. We will ring in the new year, 4 different hours. Every hour to midnight with a brand new show, everybody. So, am I the one on right now?
Yes, you are.
Oh, so you're going to play the worst joke and we're going to say goodnight?
That's the plan.
Let's do it.
Here it comes.
Worst joke. Worst joke. Worst joke. Worst joke.
Boo! That was the worst joke ever.
It's so hard to choose this week.
So, James Franco. Okay. Although what's funny is, so the dude who played Kevin's big brother Buzz in Home Alone, remember that creepy kid? His name was Devin Rattray. He was arrested in Oklahoma during an event called Buzzed with Buzz. He was, for alleged domestic abuse. First of all, let's unpack this. His name is Rattray, which sounds like Scooby-Doo outing a guy named Matt. Rattray. Matt's what? Matt's gay? Rattray. Also, he's in a show called Buzzed with Buzz. First of all, John Hughes just had a second heart attack in 2009. And I guess being a dick with Devin was taken. Bye, everybody.
Have a very merry Thursday. It's a special time of week When Thursday bells are pealing and life no longer seems so bleak, let's open up our presents and carve our Thursday goose and wait for Father Thursday to arrive upon his moose.
You know, we tried to incorporate all the wonderful family traditions that people associate with Thursday.
Thursday comes but once a week, but do not shed a tear, 'cause there are more than 50 Thursdays packed in every year, and every single one of them is full of mirth and glee. So stuff your face and break some wind and join the revelry. Have a very merry Thursday, put on your orange fez, and decorate the Thursday tree with milk, bone, spam, and pez. Once you've curled your mustache and donned your Thursday clothes, I'll catch you 'neath the mistletoe and punch you in the nose. Merry Thursday, Merry Thursday, Merry Thursday.
I think that's enough.
That's probably